Medellin podcast, episode number 15. 15. In the house we have Son de Barril, Ben,
Hello.
and TAO, rocking away. And on the guitar, we've got Andrew and Jason, killing it. In the audience, we've got Michael, and on the camera, we've got Felipe Luis, formerly known as the artist Luis. It's gonna be a wild one, folks. What do you think, Andrew?
I think it's gonna be fun. We got some free beer
Yeah.
and some free whiskey.
For the short, unmanly beard I'm rocking today, but
Same.
apologize for Andrew's mustache. That couldn't be fuller.
Yeah, it's episode 15.
Taught them everything they know.
All right, Medellin podcast, episode 15. My name is Andrew Messia, and to my left, I've got Joel. Say hello, Joel.
Joel Winfrey, direct descendant of Oprah Winfrey, in case you didn't know, motherfuckers.
And, well, tell us where can these people find us on the interwebs?
On the interwebs, you can find us on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Castbox, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and the list goes on and on. And by the way, for you nerdy motherfuckers, you can find us on https://tinyurl/y3. Okay, anyways, you get the point. You can find us all over. We're trying to get on every single channel out there. So if you're on it, we're on it.
And why are we trying to do this?
Spread some mad Medellin love. I think that we're pretty much all obsessed with Medellin, or we wouldn't be here. There's tons of countries in the world. I think, 190, 191?
194.
194, okay. They're inventing countries and shit.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to put Colombia on the map, put Medellin on the map, but give people a realistic expectation of what Medellin is all about, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah, and today we have a couple cool dudes from Medellin.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Tao Andres, and this is my man Benjamin Lowe.
Like you're a couple?
No,
Okay, I don't know. You said my man.
We
You
make
guys-
him son de Barril.
not in the typical sense.
Yeah, what you guys represent? What?
We
Son de
represent Son de Barril. That's our brewery.
Son del Barril.
Son
del
del
Barril.
Del
Barril.
Barril.
Somos.
Son del Barril. Yeah, I love the logo too. What is that?
That's it's like a little tribal monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, went with the tribal vibe. It's a little happy monkey.
And what is Son de Barril?
Son de Barril, we're just a nano brewery right now. We just make small batch beers in Santa Elena, and we try to use all local ingredients right now.
Oh, wait. Names again.
Ben.
Tao.
Ben
Ben
and
and
Tao.
Tao.
Yeah, they get us
Ben
mixed up a
and
lot.
Tao.
Yeah.
It gets mixed up. I know.
Ben.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it was Felipe or who was it today that said, wait, Tao's the white guy. yeah, Tao's
Yeah.
the white guy.
Very easy
Yeah.
mistake to make.
Yeah.
I think he needs his own hashtag called hashtag Tao the white guy.
Tao the white guy.
White Tao. White
White
Tao.
Tao.
White Tao.
Yeah.
Respect.
Thanks. Man.
So I've actually tasted your guys' beer a couple times.
Right on.
Not all of them, but they were pretty good. I liked them
Thanks.
for
Yeah.
sure. And obviously we made a connection and I invited you guys on here. I remember
absolutely.
seeing you guys at Oktoberfest, which was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Wait, are we getting ahead of ourselves?
Yeah, so
we're getting
before
ahead of ourselves.
we get into the topic, let's introduce what we're drinking today. Obviously, we're going to be drinking Son del Barril beers, but every time the alarm goes off, guys, we're going to have to do some shots. What are we shooting today, Joel?
We're shooting. My little brother picked this up, and I did a little bit of research on this fine beverage here from Scotland. These guys wanted whiskey from Ireland, and I said, fuck that. I'm 1/100th Scottish, so we're drinking Scottish whiskey. And it's the famous grouse. Apparently, these guys started back in 18-something, since the 1800s, so we're drinking some good stuff. And Felipe, who's behind the camera, who's a whiskey connoisseur, says it's really good. Is that what you said, or were you talking about the beer?
I was talking about both, actually.
Okay, good. So we're drinking good beer, good whiskey, and when
Good
the alarm
times.
goes off, that's what they'll be drinking, you know. And if you guys see me, I don't want you to call me soft and stuff, but I'm still on the Captain Morgan because I'm a rum guy. I was born in the Caribbean, and that's what we drink.
All right. So
Can I complain?
I guess we'll get to the topic.
Yep.
Obviously, we're going to be talking about opening up a brewery or doing your own brewing here in Medellin, selling your shit, and lifestyle in Medellin, and your basically day in, day out type stuff that you do here, coming from two guys that are not from Medellin. I guess I'll start with Tao.
Sure.
Well, where are you from?
I'm from Denver originally. Yeah, that's where I grew up most of my life. I actually spent half of my life growing up in Panama, which isn't too far from here.
Really? That's kind of cool. So
Yeah.
you were back and forth from Denver and Panama?
In Panama, yeah.
So how come you can't even pronounce your own beer name in Spanish? What the hell is going on?
You know, it's just
We're
that
gonna
it's
get to
that it's
though.
that white tongue. You
What the
know,
fuck
it's
is
just,
white tongue?
it just won't grasp that. that
We're gonna get to that, Andrew. We're gonna get to this
Yeah, we'll
Spanish
get to
speaking
your
thing.
Spanish
God damn,
speaking
half
thing.
your life in Panama.
Yeah.
Deport this man.
Back to Panama.
Back to Panama. So you get him into a language school and shit. Yeah, and then.
What about Ben?
I'm Ben. I'm from Australia, from Melbourne, Australia.
Okay.
My parents are Malaysian, so I have
Okay.
Malaysian background, but I've been here for 5 years doing
Okay.
various things, and this is the latest brewery.
Wait, although I'm gonna jump to this. Are you married?
No.
You single?
Yeah,
Not really.
Okay, wait.
single.
First, let me
Ladies
tell you
be
something,
single.
man. Let me tell you something.
Hi, ladies.
If I was an Asian dude or Asian-looking dude with an Australian accent living in Medellin, I'd be killing it.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
So wait, Ben. So do you speak Spanish?
Sí, señor.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Todo bien, parcero.
Oh,
Sí,
we
claro.
gonna get to that.
So you've been here 5 years.
Yeah.
How long have you been here, Tal?
I've been here all of this year.
This year.
Yeah,
Okay.
2019, yeah.
So what made you guys? I guess we'll start with Ben, the Australian, Asian Australian,
Malaysian.
the Malaysian Australian,
Australian.
Malaysian persuasion.
Yeah.
What made you decide to come to Medellin 5 years ago?
Well, I wanted to live and work in a Latin-speaking country because I traveled throughout South America before that,
Okay.
and I always wanted to come and start a new life. And I chose Medellin because it seemed to have a lot going for it. It was growing. There was a lot of more investment and people coming over here, and there seemed to be a lot of opportunities. So that's why I came here and done all types of different things. And this brewery is like the latest of a
No
chain,
way.
you know.
So when you first got here 5 years ago, what were you doing?
Well, I started doing like marketing at a little startup, a Colombian startup. That lasted, say, 6 months. And then I taught English at a high school, Jose Felix Restrepo. Then I was a tomate de arbol farmer for a little while in La Union.
Wait, what?
And then,
you were
yeah.
farming?
Yeah,
Tomate de
cultivating
arbol.
tomate de arbol.
Wait. Tomate de arbol means tree tomato, by the way. And it's this little,
Yes.
like, don't ever try to eat it if you come here. You're like, what an exotic fruit. Don't eat it as, just
Like
like,
raw,
it is.
yeah.
It's really bitter.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
make
juice,
they make
it's
juice
good.
out of
They
it.
make juice.
Juice.
And then
Juice
some
is
people
good.
cook with it too.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So
I
you're a
love it.
farmer?
For a little while,
All
and
right.
then started with this brewery.
Sweet.
So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
And you?
I came down here in January for the first time because my parents had come down here and just loved it. They said it was like an amazing place. And I came here and I kind of, fell in love as well. And I saw that there was like a brewing scene and it was, on the cusp of something really big here. I tasted some of the Sierra Blanca beers and some other of the smaller guys here in the city. And I loved it. I thought there was a lot of room for growth here. And so, yeah, I just decided to move back in March and we pursued it very seriously. And here we are. It's been 6 months. We said today. We were saying it's been
Yeah.
6 months since we got started.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you guys are brewers? You guys were brewers before here? Did you brew
yeah.
in your basement? Did you brew for other people? How?
Yeah,
How
I'm
did you guys-
a brewer. So I mean, that's been my thing for a long time since I was in like high school. Probably just lack of good beer on the market. Especially in Panama, there's just not much going on down there.
Lack of good beer in the market when you're in high school.
Yeah,
Respect, bro.
you
That's
get
awesome,
snobby
man.
when you get into the beer
Yeah,
scene a little
in
bit.
high
Well,
school,
also I know that in Denver, the microbrew scene is pretty big.
Yeah, it's huge. So that's where I started professionally on the commercial level actually, and I was living in Leadville, Colorado. So that's actually the tallest municipality in the United States.
Tallest?
Yeah, tallest in terms
People?
of altitude.
Oh.
Yeah, highest. I could say highest, but
Full
it's,
7 footers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Highest.
So, not
And they
highest,
also smoke
yeah.
a lot of weed too.
Yeah,
so
they
they're
very
pretty
much
high.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I was all of last year, 2018. I was in Leadville, Colorado. That's like above 10,000 feet.
While brewing,
way
you were
up
brewing
there.
there too?
Yeah, brewing
Okay.
professionally. I was the head brewer of Periodic Brewing in Leadville, Colorado.
Big up to Periodic Brewing.
Thank you much. I miss those guys a lot. They were a great crew. We actually made the 50 fastest growing breweries in the United States that year.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
awesome,
top
man.
10. Yeah.
That's a pretty good experience.
Yeah, so yeah, I felt like I had enough under my belt when I moved down here, and I wanted to work for myself. So
Okay. So you moved down here. You were here in January.
yeah,
and you obviously had your heart set on brewing.
Yeah,
Did you
definitely.
know that you were going to settle down here when you got here, or was it something that just kind of happened?
I felt like I could move here and just maybe do enough market research until I felt comfortable and in a place where I could open something. But it didn't take very much time to realize that there was, a major opportunity in opening a brewery. So
Yeah.
So hold a second. And you
Ben.
have brewing background? Ben?
Beer brewing background, no. I started. I've been brewing kombucha and experimenting with cider for a little while.
Okay.
So he came down and we met at the farm. We were both living in Santa Elena.
Okay.
And he said he was coming down for an opportunity. That's how we met. And that's how the brewery
Oh, okay.
started.
So that's how you guys met, and you
Yeah.
guys started brewing together.
Yeah.
And I guess moving on to like business questions. Do you guys have like a location where you brew at? Are you doing it from home? How is this working?
yeah, we have like a designated facility that we rent out that neither of us live at, that we just keep separate. It's actually closer where he lives in Santa Elena. I actually live down here in Santa Lucia over by San Javier.
Okay.
Yeah, so I make my way up there about 3 or 4 times a week, and we brew however much.
Is that
demand.
because of rent? Or is that because rents are cheaper? Or like why up in Santa Elena? I'm sure.
Yeah,
like,
it was a number of reasons. The biggest one is actually fermentation and controlling the temperature in fermentation. In
Yeah.
our facility up there, it's just like a regular concrete house, but that temperature doesn't change from 18 degrees Celsius to maybe 21 degrees Celsius, and that's the most it varies.
Okay.
And that's actually the perfect threshold for fermentation temperature.
Wow.
So.
Okay.
So it's really ideal for us in terms of just like saving money, and we don't really have to like control the temperature of our beers using electricity or technology.
And so,
Wow.
so for those that don't know about that are watching this show, Santa Elena is called like a little municipality, called like in the outskirts of Medellin, up in the mountains.
Yeah.
And it is about, I would say, 45 minutes more or less to
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah.
And it's the temperature. It's significantly cooler than here.
Yeah, very much so.
The air is fresher. A lot of trees, no
Yeah.
big buildings. And they've a lot of fincas or
Yeah,
little
parque RVs up
cottages
there.
and stuff. You can park your RV.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful area to visit if you're here, by the way.
Yeah.
And you guys,
Highly
to be
recommend
there.
it. Yeah, we
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it up there,
Yeah.
and the people up there are one of a kind as well. I would say.
yeah.
Actually, we kind of talk about it. He's been to Boulder, Colorado, and I've spent a lot of time there. We actually compare it a lot to Boulder.
All right.
Okay.
So you guys are a pretty young company.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, it just started this year, and I know that when we started, well, we started from home, literally from our living room, and it was 3 of us living in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
With my brother, he was
Oh, we
sleeping
started
on the
even
couch.
before that with the construction going on in our glass
Oh my
desks
gosh.
looking out. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was
but
terrible.
yeah.
Yeah, so I know that starting a business is pretty tough anywhere.
Yeah.
And getting it rolling. So, can you tell us a little bit about your experience this year? Has it been rough? Has it been easy? Has it been fun? Has it been boring? What? Tell
I
us.
mean, in one word,
All
like,
those things.
roller coaster, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, up and down, like just
Yeah.
craziness. Absolutely, it's been a lot, And beer making is so complex too. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot behind the scenes that people probably don't know about. So things can get really complicated when you're making, a beverage. You want it to be safe and for human consumption, obviously, and it takes a lot, Yeah.
Right.
Ben can tell you, we go above and beyond to get these beers in the bottle.
So,
Really?
so to answer that, I was going to ask this question later, but I thought I'd bring it to the start because it's a conversation that I had with the folks I work with today, and we're talking about sort of setting goals and having the end in mind.
Yeah.
Because or one friend Sylvia was saying, yeah, I'm going to do this, and then maybe if this happens, I might do this, and I'm like, hey, stop right there. You got to start with something big. So I'm going to ask you first,
Yeah.
and I want to see if you're on the same page. I want to see if you're going to go like this, but what's your vision for Son de Barril?
Well, when I think big and dream big, I'd like to have a big barn, a facility with the brewery and a restaurant up in Santa Elena, where people can have like a view and have a different offering to the breweries here in the city.
Okay.
So where we are is not that far up in Santa Elena. It's maybe like half an hour from downtown or less, 25 minutes.
Okay.
So a place that people can come, park their car, however, and then like be in a big barn style place. I'd like to keep on producing beers that are different and fun, collaborating with lots of people in the city. We've collaborated with various people who make mead, for example, and other producers, and meeting people and learning. That's what I really see is like my vision.
Okay.
On the Barril.
And yours?
I mean, yeah, he kind of hit the nail on the head. I think when you ask a brewer what's their main goal with a brewery, it's to make a good beer, right? That everybody wants to drink. So obviously, something I think about is like national distribution, having a nice bar restaurant type thing, and right now we're distribution only. So
Yeah, because those are two totally different things.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
to have it's one thing you can seek financing for or have your own financing for a nice barn style thing with people driving up to have some nice beer and some nice food. That's sort of like the cushy, oh wow, people are driving up to taste our beer versus we're nationally distributed.
Right,
We're ranking with the top of the top. So that's why I wonder what drives you guys. Like is it? So it sounds like you mentioned National Geographic. You didn't say that. So it's like like me and Andrew in our business, we have the same but different goals in a certain way. So it's always like that's a really interesting question to you guys, like what is driving you. So that's good. So we know where you want to go.
Yeah. That actually made me think of something else. Well, before I get to that, let's crack one of these open before they get to.
The last time I did this, it sprayed all over me. That was last episode.
Oh, that's the alarm for shooting some shots.
Before we crack the beer, then let's shoot the shot.
Yeah.
hell yeah.
First
guys.
shot.
Cheers.
Thanks
Cheers,
for being
Son de
on,
Barril.
guys.
Thanks.
Son de
My
Barril.
pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
So we were cracking open these beers, and I think I've actually what are the names of these?
So this one is Purple Haze.
Purple Haze.
Purple
this is the one that I
Haze.
tried.
Yeah, that's
you
the one
should
you
try
tried
that
at the
one.
20 mission.
Ahi Kolsch.
I haven't
Kolsch.
tried.
Kolsch.
Yeah.
So this
Kolsch.
is,
Kolsch.
yeah.
This one's called Ahi Kolsch.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try this one.
Cool.
Yeah, so I guess the next question that I had before, obviously we talked about the brewing part a little bit, but for example, for people that want to come out here and that love beer, because I've met a lot of them, because I've been to many beer festivals. I know pretty much most of the artisanal or craft beers in Medellin and in Colombia, because there's a lot of good ones.
There are.
Where do you guys source, for example, like your ingredients for the beer?
Well, everybody in Medellin will tell you the number one place here in the city is called Prost Beer. They're over
It's
by
called what?
Prost Beer.
Prost.
Prost.
Prost
Prost
beer,
Beer.
okay.
I think that's like a German word, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prost.
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 Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
Prost.
cheers,
Prost.
Prost.
Prost beer. Okay.
So they're,
Ooh.
they sell hops,
Thanks.
malt, yeast, and they're really reliable. And then we actually, because we order a lot of wholesale stuff, we go through a shop in Medellin. Or I mean, in Bogota.
In
excuse me.
Bogota.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Isn't that?
That's sorry. This is just like a taste test reaction. So wait,
This is
does that have the product
pepper.
in it?
It has pepper in
That's
it.
Just the
chili.
product. It doesn't have the other product.
No,
The
this
ca-
is just
'cause
No.
jalapenos.
This is
Yeah.
jalapeno.
that's
Yeah.
nice. I
It
felt
does
like
taste like
I feel
it,
like I had a
right?
bit of the product.
You mean of cannabis?
Yeah. Are we allowed to say it on this show?
What?
Are they allowed to?
Cannabis?
I don't know.
It tastes like cannabis,
does
goddammit.
taste
That's
like
what it tastes
fucking
like.
weed.
We need a cannabis expert to maybe give me that. Let me
tastes
get,
so good.
Let me get somebody that knows this shit.
Yeah,
In the crowd,
let's
we've
give it
got
to Michael
a
Hernandez.
philanthropist,
Wait, he was on
some
episode
pissed-
what? I forget what episode he was in, but
He
you know
was
Michael
looking mad
Hernandez.
comfortable.
Episode 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Episode 6, guys.
Oh, he was 6. Sorry.
Episode
All right.
6.
So anyway, you were saying that the Prost beer, something
Yeah,
about
Prost Beer, and then we go through another shop in Bogota actually for more wholesale products, and they give us really good pricing. They're called Fuggles Workshop, and they're based out of Bogota.
Cuddles?
Fuggles.
Fuggles.
Fuggle. F-U-G-G-L-E.
Fugles. Oh, Fugles. We have a friend named Cuddles.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
And
actually-
Puggles.
Yeah, and Puggles. We've got a whole crew.
Yeah.
And they're
We give everybody a
bunch of
nickname.
Care beers. Yeah. So what? Okay, we're still on the business thing. That's where you get your supplies from. What is? And I wish if like one of you could just plug your ears like this and speak and not hear the other one. What has been the most goddamn challenging thing to get this operation started?
Oh, man.
And wait, think about it. Don't change your answer. Think about it for a second.
Well, funding, like trying to get the money together has been a major thing.
What is that? What's the cost in that to start, if you don't mind telling somebody? Like,
Well, buying the equipment and
what does
like,
that cost?
Well, it depends if you're going to buy new or old equipment. I mean, we bought used equipment from a company, so that made it a lot cheaper.
Okay. Do you mind talking about price? If you don't,
It was like in around 15 million to 20 million
Pesos.
Yeah.
So that's about, call it just ballpark, $3,000 to $5,000.
Yeah.
Just for the equipment.
Like the equipment, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So just for the equipment.
And what would new be?
What's that?
New. How much would new cost?
I mean, like it depends on the equipment. You know, if you're talking
the same
about like
equipment
1,000
you have,
liter,
but new.
But new and like custom made, right? Like not just fabricated.
Yeah, whatever you have right now, brand new. How much would that cost?
Significantly more, probably
At least
twice as much. I'd
Twice,
say.
so about 10
maybe
to
2 or
15
3
grand.
times.
Maybe
yeah,
20
I'd say so.
Times as much.
At least,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Significantly more.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like we said, we're small scale. So if you wanted to go up to like 1,000 liter fermenter, you're talking $50,000. I would
Right,
say.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. So is it easy to find the equipment here in Medellin, or is it something that you have to
It's
dig?
been absolutely challenging.
Yeah.
We've been lucky enough to find a welder that we can work with who's really good with working with stainless steel, which is everything that we use it has to be stainless in beer production. So we've been lucky in that sense, but it's been difficult finding like pieces and stuff like that. It hasn't been easy.
Amazon's been a friend.
Yeah, Amazon. We
Okay.
have to use a lot.
So
of
you guys have to
Amazon.
ship a lot of stuff.
Yeah, bring it from the States.
Yeah,
So well, that's actually a good question.
He said funding. Tao, you didn't say, is funding? Would you say funding is the most difficult?
I would say funding for
Okay.
sure.
All right. Well, actually, that's a good thing that you mentioned was Amazon, because I'm sure a lot of people that, whether they're interested in brewing or not, what's your experience like shipping stuff from the United States via Amazon to Colombia?
Well, so far we've actually been using like friends as mules, basically.
Okay, so you
anytime
buy
anyone
Fucking
visits,
Amazon
it's like-
mules.
Yeah,
AmazonMules.com.
Yeah,
that's
what we need.
Let's
That's
get
it.
that shit
Let's
going.
get it popped.
Amazon.
That's $1 million idea.
AmazonMules.com.
That's $1 million
Anybody going to the
Don't
States?
steal that shit. Yeah.
Hey,
Let us
come
know.
down,
Let us
yeah.
know.
Stuff a gram of something in your ass and bring a camera.
gram. What?
Whatever. Anyways, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys get people to bring it over here. So, I guess the equipment, the actual physical part of the business is a little challenging.
Yeah.
What about the legal part? Like, for example, forming the company and getting the right paperwork together and all
And you
that.
can imagine that it's probably difficult with Tao hitting them with his whole Panamanian Spanish and shit, hitting the lawyers and
it's
fucking
really-
Cámara de Comercio,
Yeah.
dropping those Panamanian slangs and confusing them.
They love it.
Yeah, I know. Say the name of your beer again.
Son del Barril.
Son del Barril.
You know. Let me try this.
This is mine.
Tao, man, you're 5 years of Spanish. You trump this guy who grew up in Panama. I don't even fucking know what's going on over here.
Yeah.
But legal. What happened with the legal?
Yeah.
So I mean, we have a lawyer that like we trust and has helped us with all that stuff because as foreigners you can do as much as you can, but I think it's always good to have someone local that has done the process before. So we've kind of guided through all that with a lawyer.
What's that person's name?
Andres.
Andres what?
Ramirez.
Carne de res.
Andres Ramirez.
Andres Ramirez.
And how did you guys get on to Andres? Like, whose contact is that?
So we at the finca that I live in and that we met in, there's a family there and they have a lawyer and they recommended.
And he's been great so far.
It's been good, yeah.
Super
We,
good.
let's throw his contact up. Let's give this man some business.
Yeah.
And that's a big part. As we started on this show, and Andrew said, "Why are we doing this?"
Yeah.
This is a big part. Like, people are out there hustling, busting their ass, and there's some people that do a really good job.
Yeah.
And they need to get better. They need to get more people.
I mean, he's
more
looking
business.
he doesn't speak English, so that's
Okay.
the thing. You
Okay.
have to speak Spanish.
So Tao translates everything for you.
yeah. Sí, sería más o menos.
It's like, I'm gonna review the contract, man. Shut the fuck up. This is where I excel.
Yeah.
This is where I excel. The motherfucking Microsoft excel in this motherfucker.
Okay, stop.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
All
God.
right, so
Yeah. So he's helping you guys do that. Actually, one question that I was actually talking to somebody today about this. The bottling. Who does the bottling? Do you guys do it in-house, or do you have like a third party that does the bottling for you?
We do all the bottling ourselves. Yeah, we do it in house. The same welder that we use for everything else. He helped build us a bottling machine, and we do it all ourselves. We
Okay.
were actually just doing that this morning.
Okay.
I hope you wash your goddamn hands, Top. Tyler,
It's
like
just
it.
beer, buddy.
It's
Yeah.
just beer. It kills
Beer,
everything.
beer kills the fucking
The
bacteria.
more bacteria, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You go ahead.
Okay, so I guess the bottling goes. So you guys only bottle in glass bottles, right?
Yeah, we use
No aluminum cans.
We would love to be able to use cans, and we're definitely going to pursue that. But right now, it's the only thing that's feasible right now for us.
So here's the
So
question.
this is why I asked, because
sure.
Yeah.
yesterday and today, and you find this funny because I was talking to this guy that's our new client. His father in Chicago, who's like 80 something years old.
He's not a canner.
He's a canner.
He's
only
a
buys
motherfucking canner.
He was the youngest guy of the youngest VP in 1968 or something like that of the canning company in Chicago.
Right.
So we've got a new client. We do digital marketing, obviously. Most people already know. But I met with this guy who's got a company here, and we were just talking, talking chop and shop, and I said, yeah, I've noticed that a lot of the beers here are all in glass bottles. But none of them are aluminum cans.
Yeah,
and then
very
we
true.
asked our friend Jose, who owns a
Metropole.
beer at Metropole.
Yeah.
He owns a beer bar there. And he said, yeah, it's because the equipment's not available. There's nothing out here that can do it, whether it's a mobile one or a stationary one that can pump out thousands.
Right.
And that the companies are so small. We're gonna come back to this whole nano thing.
Yeah.
That they're so small that even if his thing was that in Medellin, even if all the nano microbreweries added up together and said, we want you to can these, they still wouldn't be big enough to demand from the companies to actually can for them. So
Right.
they're by
Yeah.
themselves.
Right.
It's actually like funny. I never realized that because I usually prefer glass bottles anyways. But Bogota Beer Company, which is arguably the biggest, that's what they call themselves actually, the biggest, smallest beer brewery, they just right now started
Started
doing
canning.
cans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they just got to the volume.
Right.
And
yeah.
they're national.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're
So
national.
wait, so you said that you would love to can, but
Yeah.
what is the difference between a beer in a bottle and in a can? Is it like a big taste difference, or?
The taste difference isn't large, and in fact, you'd actually probably get longer shelf life out of a can because you get better
That's
air
why.
seal.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's why.
And cans are just appealing to a lot of people. You know, you can throw a can in your backpack. You don't have to worry about it breaking. They can knock against
I
each
agree.
other, and they don't have to break.
You can throw a can in your backpack. That's some good
roll
shit.
roll
That's
the
some
work.
Colorado shit.
I mean, the skiers love.
Guys,
cans,
I'm going
but-
hiking. I just want to throw some cans in my backpack.
Throw some cans
I
in my
used to do that
backpack
in
and-
California.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we were talking about. Like, oh, sorry.
I was
man,
just
go
gonna
ahead.
say that there's light doesn't hit the beer when it's in the
Yeah.
can because it's
Oh,
completely
It's like
dark.
olive oil.
So it's like better for the beer as well.
No,
Yeah.
don't fucking
talk
laugh
about
at me
my
like I
girl.
don't know what I'm talking
Don't talk about
olive
my
oil.
girl like that.
Yeah, Andrew has a crush on a girl named Olive Oil, but that's not what I was talking about.
Are you Popeye?
He's pop. No, I know, but it's the same thing. You guys know anything about like oils, like olive oil and like
the
the oil
oils.
market? So I didn't know this, but it's the same with beer, I guess.
Yeah.
When you have olive oil, avocado oil, and it's in a darker bottle, it's way better than when the bottle is transparent.
Yeah.
However, one of the biggest things, because I was trying to get into that business at
Okay.
one point, in Colombia you couldn't get the dark bottles for olive oil.
Oh.
So people were like, man, we got to import it from Peru, from wherever. It's too costly. But it's the same thing with beer. Once it's darker and more
Yeah.
sealed,
Yeah.
it keeps the qualities of that whatever you're canning or bottling
Yeah.
for longer.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, fucking
Absolutely.
great.
Same goes with wine. That's why the bottles
Yeah.
are green.
Yeah, light damages a lot of things. You know.
Light has not damaged me, motherfuckers. Look at this beauty right here.
That's just luck.
Call it the Black Beauty.
Black Beauty. They call him Black Beauty.
Right.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
was gonna say also that
Oh, that's
Oh.
the shot.
Oh.
time.
You, I'll pour it if you guys go continue.
Yeah,
Oh.
continue. What's your train of
no,
thought, man?
I was just gonna say that
Hold on.
there's now a canning machine in the city. One of the breweries have one, and they're talking about the possibility of renting out to smaller breweries. So
They
it's
have, yeah.
you're gonna see cans probably in the next year or
Well,
so.
Wait
don't
a
tell them
second.
all. Don't tell them all
Wait a
because
second.
we're trying to bring one out.
Wait a second. Wait a second right now. Are you talking about that place down in, where is it that Gio sang? La Setenta, with that little
Yeah,
brewery
it's
up the
one,
stairs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, La Planta. Yeah,
La
yeah.
Planta.
Guys,
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I looked at that machine because we were talking about a business plan about canning here before.
All right.
That thing, according to what I'm told, rumor has it, that thing cans one beer every 60 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you gotta do an hour of work to get 60 beers in
So
the
it's
can.
really.
It is slow as
That's
fuck.
I didn't hear that.
Slow as fuck.
Yeah.
There's other ones that with the funding, so that's a good question. Business question. If we could set up a canning business that could pump out 60 per 5 minutes, do you think that would be a successful business? Yes or no?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why?
100, because every brewery in the city would come to you to can.
Hell yeah.
Cheers to that, motherfucker!
Yeah.
Oh yes, I like the sound of that. Cha-ching. Josh, my little brother just joined Michael on the couch. What do you think about a canning business that every brewery would go to? Would you invest?
Right now.
How much?
What are we talking about?
No,
You
the
guys
answer
know
is
the price?
yes.
For a
Josh.
canning machine?
Like a solid canning machine.
An industrial canning machine?
An industrial canning machine, or one that could, because there's industrial, there's semi-industrial, there's like, you guys call yourself nano. Let's go to the micro, semi-hard.
Macro.
Kind of like my penis, the micro, semi-hard.
Macro, semi-hard.
Girl, you ready to see the micro?
The micro, semi-hard.
So how much would that cost? What do you think a micro, semi-hard would cost?
I'd say micro, semi-hards.
That would be my favorite, like Ninja Turtle or G.I. Joe if I had one to.
That's a good
Mommy,
GI
Daddy, I
Joe.
want the micro. Okay, no, go ahead. I'm just thinking it cost.
I'd say you're talking 7 digits USD.
7 what?
7 digits.
No. You talking about some big? I'm not trying to be Anheuser-Busch.
I mean, it's expensive. Man.
Fucking
They are,
Anheimer, what the fuck that
they
thing's
are-
called?
they're
No,
expensive.
wait, you gone too far. I'm talking about we can can 60 beers
60
every
beers every
5
5
minutes.
minutes.
That no, I'm Anheuser.
Anheuser-Busch. Yeah.
Anheuser.
Anheuser.
You see, everybody has a different
Anheuser.
name for you. Anyways, so those ones are canning at least 60 per minute.
True. Yeah.
They're just going like this.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the whatever
Anheuser-Busch.
and Anheuser-Busch Light.
I'd say $15,000.
Oh, we in?
Yeah.
We in?
I do that.
We're in.
All right. Josh is funding
It's not-
95% of it.
Me and Andrew got 2,000 on
Yo,
it.
I'll give you my card, man.
In all seriousness, I don't know if Jose's watching this because we've talked about this extensively. It's probably the only thing we talk about other than spying on people on his cameras in his brewery.
He better
Love
fucking
that.
will.
Huh?
He better be fucking listening to this.
Yeah, he better be listening to this shit because watch that be the next thing. Red Door Breweries alongside Son de Barril.
No.
Oh, it could be
sound.
reality.
The old
It could be
bachata.
reality.
Yeah.
Red Door Canning Co.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I guess we talked about you guys making the beer. Well, how do you guys transport the beer?
Yeah.
That's all Ben.
Basically
in
me.
his awesome Vitara.
Wait, you got you
My
have a
he
car?
drives-
My
yeah.
96 Vitara.
96
Oh, shit.
Suzuki Vitara.
Campero.
It's sweet.
I
Really?
thought you were going to say it's a silleta. Because you come down from Santa Elena with a fucking big thing on your back. And by the way, Felipe, drop a photo of a silleta right.
Cigetero. There you go.
Boom.
That's Ben coming down the hill. Not flowers, but just beer.
Just
Oh,
beer,
okay.
just beer. Like
A Vitara?
beautiful,
You have a
beautiful.
Vitara?
Yeah.
You bought it
Vitara.
here? Obviously you bought it here.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
much did you pay for that?
18.
18 million?
18 million.
Which is what, $6,000 US? What year?
96.
You're like
awesome.
my,
She's
you're
22 years old.
Like, you're like my
Yeah,
only.
but if it goes up and down that hill,
It
man,
does,
that's
yeah.
a beast.
We live in a
It's
very
beast.
steep, like,
Yeah.
Barril and
Super
stuff, and
steep.
it's like
Well,
this.
just
Yo.
getting there alone is steep.
Would you be my friend? He's like the only friend with a car.
Yeah. we got
Drive us around. It's like DD. You're the DD. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you're a designated driver. You
Yeah.
can take us tonight to Provenza.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
park.
that's right. Yeah.
Your
We're not very
Citara
far.
or whatever it's called.
Not very far.
Your
No, we like
Citara.
no, but we have the windows.
You want to go
down.
in style in
You
one
know
of the
Vitara?
the original SUVs from the mid 90s?
Yeah.
We're rigged with the beer carrying kit.
It's
Yeah.
basically a box on wheels.
Yeah.
But, you know.
With
It's like a
four-wheel
death
drive.
trap.
It is.
So one of the things, I mean, the business thing, and a lot of folks watching this want to come here and start businesses. All right, and so you guys say that funding is a big thing. Funding is a big thing for everyone. What are the difficulties in day-to-day business for you? What are the what? Because honestly, I was talking to Mike, I was talking to a few other folks, and I said, listen, do not get into entrepreneurship. It's not something you just get into. It's something you do as a kid. I told them I was selling baseball cards since I was 12 years old. Basketball cards. I sold some baseball cards too. But I would get them for like a cent in Canada, and I moved to the Caribbean. I'd sell them for $5 to $10. My mother thought I was dealing drugs at that time because that's what I was doing. I was always hustling something, trying to make side money because I had to.
Yeah, it's same thing. I was selling in Southern California, and literally that's how I started my entrepreneur career.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So,
Okay,
so
well, I thought you were joking. Maybe he is.
wait,
Wow, you
wait,
did that.
let's just go.
That was-
I
that
thought-
was good.
I
This
thought
Walt Whitman right here.
I thought he was joking, but I guess he wasn't.
Okay.
I like that. That was great. We're gonna put that in the subtitles. So day-to-day challenges of business. Business is fucking hard. What's the
Yeah.
stat like? 4 out of 5
fail.
businesses fail in the
Fail.
first year of
Small
small
Yeah.
business.
for sure.
Yeah.
What's hindering your progression, or what would you suggest to somebody come to start anything? You'd be like, watch out for this shit. You first.
All right. I would say, I guess it's kind of like a business culture shock. It ties to the culture shock in general, but
Yeah.
I think the way that business is done in Colombia, there's kind of a slower pace to it. You gotta build trust slowly and carefully, and things just take a lot more time than you usually anticipate. And people aren't all business all the time. You have to be, as an American, I feel like maybe we're all business all the time, and we kind of get a bad rap for that because we get straight to the point, right? And I think in Colombia, people aren't, they don't want to get straight to the point. They like the bullshit. They like to chew the fat a little bit, and they want to drink their tinto with you and hang out, and then get to the point later. And so it takes patience for sure, and I think it just takes adaptation to its culture, but like a business culture.
And your challenge?
I mean, I would follow on from that and saying, like, sometimes, like, for example, with the bottling machine, we would go there and say, okay, when will it be done? And he will tell us tomorrow or like this afternoon. And weeks later, we're still waiting.
Yeah.
So that's something you just have to get used to. And I
In
know
Mexico,
that.
in Mexico, it's called the Mexican Minute.
Oh, yeah, the
in
Mexican-
Colombia,
Or
I think,
mañana.
Yeah.
I think here it can be called like Colombia Real Time or something.
Yeah,
Colombian time.
Because you guys were like, oh,
Yeah.
be there by 6, and so we were like, oh, so like anytime between 6 and 9, we'll show up.
Andrew played like 900 songs on his guitar waiting.
Right,
for you.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what's wrong with these guys? I'm like, one of them is white and he showed up late. That's a first.
Hey, you have to embrace the culture. You
You're
have
like
to
the
embrace
first
it.
white man to be late for something.
Yeah, ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't even think
This
Asian
guy-
people are late. Both of you fucking
No.
combined. It's fucking horrible.
She had a panic attack about being late.
Yeah.
Really?
No, not really.
Man, my Asian friends are earlier than my white
We
friends.
come all the way down from Santa Elena. That's
Yeah,
the
we did
problem.
come all the way
Okay.
down from the mountain.
Countryside.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Countryside.
Okay, so you get a pass on that one.
Thank you.
All the way from there. So I guess moving on, I'll ask Ben first.
Mm-hmm.
What's the pro of doing business in Medellin?
I think that there's a really integrated community, we've met really cool people, and like at all these events, people have come up and asked, "Do you want to do collaborations and stuff like that?" And meeting lots of really interesting people. And this like beer thing has been an avenue to meet cool people and do like cool events and things like this on this podcast. So I've enjoyed that aspect of it.
Okay, and same to you again. What's the con of doing business in Medellin?
Well, I mean, following on from that, like a bit, when I talked before about the delays and everything, that's been something that we've had to deal with for the 5 months. People telling us one thing, like it's going to be done by a certain time, or like it's going to cost this much, and then. But I mean, this happens in all countries, but to a degree.
In
But
many
I
countries,
feel
I'm
like
sure
Wait,
it
I'm
is.
kidding. I don't know what happens down in Melbourne, but I'm gonna tell you something. In Canada, if you say you're gonna have something by Friday and you don't have it by Friday, and my brother's an expert at this. I've never seen anybody better than my brother at this.
Yeah.
He will call them up and get that shit for free in 24 hours.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you.
That doesn't happen.
I see
yeah.
this guy. But he's on another ridiculous level. He like
We've
uses
tried.
a
We've
toothbrush.
tried. We've tried to the point where we hired someone to just literally call
Yeah.
people. For
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
we hired Gabby, our accountant, because I was tired of dealing with the fucking internet
Yeah.
coming
Yeah,
down,
yeah, that
going
can-
down,
yeah, yeah.
and we're losing business hours. And I'm like, I want my money refunded.
Yeah.
At least for
That
that
would
one
happen.
day,
And they just
prorated
like-
or something. I never got 1 cent from those
Never.
motherfuckers.
Never, man. Not
If
even.
anything, they fucking hiked up the price.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm
anything,
gonna
yeah.
jack that shit on October or November's bill.
Yeah.
But wait, you guys have accountants?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, they got the lawyer.
Me for now, but like
You're the
we-
accountant?
Yeah, well, we do
Don't
have
be-
like
don't
a-
be typical,
We
man.
do have like an accountant lawyer to help us out when
Yeah.
with taxes and all that. But yeah, that's been one of the major challenges here. But I think it's also all these challenges make it so that if you're coming here, there's an opportunity to start. It's like a brewery. Like this, I wouldn't have dreamt of doing this in Australia, but here it seems possible.
It's that because it's a small. You're a bigger fish in a small market.
Exactly. That's
You're a bigger fish in a small market.
What about TAO? Pro of doing business in Medellin.
I'd say costs, man. I mean, things are just low. Like things might be harder to find sometimes, but as a whole, like just material, especially like stainless steel is a good example. I think it's surprisingly cheap here. You know, it's not much more than what I would expect to pay in the States. In a lot of cases, it's cheaper. So yeah, it's very cost effective. Like Ben was saying, you know, like you just feel like you can do a lot more financially speaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the con?
The con, again, delays, you know, people not staying true to their word as much, stuff like that.
access to equipment, I would say. Also,
yeah,
like
just access to just basic stuff. You know, like you mentioned the internet.
Yeah.
Getting internet dealt with is always
just little things like that. Yeah.
You know, just stuff like that.
So one thing that people always say is that wealthy people they always profit from war.
Mm-hmm.
When a war happens, there's the rich people like hell, motherfucker. They actually create wars
just to make money.
Just to make money.
Right.
And I think like it's a very similar situation in Medellin and Colombia in most developing nations. We complain about certain problems, but if you're smart enough and you see the problem and you can look at it like, again, I reference photography, which is a very small scale thing, but I don't charge what a Colombian would charge.
Mm-hmm.
I realized years ago when I was doing photography that no one was doing it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, people would be rejecting me left, right, and center, but I'm like, this is what I do. Mm-hmm. I photograph spaces. You do weddings, you do products, I do spaces. Mm-hmm. People are like, spaces? I don't want to pay for spaces. But when they finally come around to understand that spaces are worth something, you're like number one in the playing field, And I think like wherever there's, you see like a negative, there's always an opportunity. So you got to figure out what that opportunity is. As you were saying, your dream is to have the barn overlooking with the lights, with the whatever. Then I say follow that because nobody's doing that yet. They don't have the vision for that yet.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Like in all these developing countries and developing cities like Medellin, I think like there's a lot of opportunities for anyone from anywhere around the world that has a bit of vision and is willing to take a little bit of risk.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, before we move on from this topic, I actually have something that I'm curious about. So you said that you would love to be like a national exporter or distributor.
Sure.
So legally, or I guess, what would it take for someone, for example, what would it take for me to see your beer at all the clubs and all the, let's say maybe like the Éxito, which is the big supermarket here, or Jumbo? What does it take for someone to get to that point?
Right, so it's kind of like being in the U.S. or maybe Canada's like this, where you have like an FDA, a Food and Drug Administration.
INVIMA, is that what it is?
INVIMA, that's exactly it. So INVIMA is the #1 controller, especially beverage, health and packaging and policy, all of that. So in order to get INVIMA, you have to follow certain guidelines. Your facility has to be up to certain regulatory rules. You have to be following all these policies. It's not an easy task by any means.
Okay.
And in fact, the majority of the breweries I think in the city probably don't have it.
I say that because when I go to the supermarket, I don't see all these craft beers and microbrews that I go and see at some of these local bars that I go to.
Yeah.
Or so I'm wondering, it's like, wait, why aren't they selling this great fucking product?
Right. So in the States and in Canada and probably Australia and many first world countries or developed countries, it'll just be easier because the market has been established and people have tread that path before. They've gone and gotten all these permits and they've made it easier in the long run, and legislation has changed so that small guys can go and get their FDA approval or whatever is necessary for them to distribute nationwide to get into supermarkets and stuff like that. Whereas here, the legislation really isn't convenient at all for anybody smaller than what is like Bavaria, who does Pilsen and Club Columbia and all these bigger beers.
Man, so that's like a big hurdle.
It is. It's a massive hurdle.
Yeah,
and so you have the biggest hurdle there in terms of achieving that goal is financial because it costs so much money to get these permits.
What does that cost?
I think do you know how much it is? I want to say it's 8 million.
So hold a second. You see, this is why, we talk about business on this because we own, Andrew and I own a lot of different URLs, domains that are just sitting there parked. One of our things is Invest Medellin. And Invest Medellin has nothing on it.
Yeah.
But this is the type of shit that I think that if you want to buy it for the idea from us, you can. But if you have Son de Barril,
Yeah.
these guys are looking for 8 million. It's $3,000
To get Envima.
to get in Vima.
That's per beer.
Per
Per
beer.
beer- per beer line.
So like that would be 8
Yeah, but-
million, 8 million, 16 million. How many beers do you have?
We'd like. I mean, but right now we have 4. We'd like to have.
You have
7.
4.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay.
24 million.
24 million. To
That's
get just the Envima.
$8,000
That's
US.
aside from
no, but
operating costs.
Envima,
and all that
Envima,
shit.
Envima takes you from here to here.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Does it? Does it?
Of course.
It does because in our experience thus far, any brewery or bar that we've tried to get into, their main concern is Envima. That's the first thing anybody's going to ask you is, do you have Envima? If you're trying to get on taps, it's a little easier because kegs are mislabeled and stuff like that. But in bottle, Envima comes and knocking, and they see that bottle, and if they know that it doesn't have their stamp on it, you're in deep shit.
So
Okay,
that's exactly why I'm talking about Invest Medellin, is because if we put the profile of your business, put what you're making, what you're doing, what you're whatever, and your thing
What your
is,
overhead is. What
Exactly.
What your
Like
cost
a
per
crowd,
acquisition.
like
Exactly.
a Kickstarter. but-
you guys ask for a fucking bonus if you want. Fuck 8, go for 12.
Or Shark Tank
But you
money,
give
yeah.
up 5, whatever it is, 5%, whatever you
Whatever
put
it
up,
is,
you
yeah.
bring an owner in, but you move from here to here tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And I think there's so many businesses like that, and we know what that is like. We know what lack of capital does. You know what I mean? Like you can like springboard to the next level, and so that's amazing. So
Yeah.
basically 8 to 12, 8 to 24 million, 1 to 3 or 4 beers. You guys can be like have the license to go.
And the other thing about Exito and stuff like that is because you have to have the high level connections and
Yeah,
that
it's kind of like
in-
Walmart or
Yeah,
Target
exactly.
in the
and in this
United
country
States,
you
yeah.
have Bavaria
Right.
that owns Pilsen, Aguila, Club Colombia, even Bogota Beer Company
Oh,
is
shit.
there.
Which is
Craft
owned by
beer.
AB InBev.
He owns
They craft beer.
they own them all.
They
Yeah.
own them all, and they bought out Andina as competition for their own brands.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how much they dominate the market.
So
my
so
God.
so once again, another business thing is your net worth is your net work. Your net. Wait, let me do this again.
Net worth.
No,
Nah, you're fucking
you're
up.
fucking it up.
Again, Josh is the only one that's not drinking. Say it, Josh.
I know what your net worth is your
net
network.
worth.
Yeah.
Your net work is your
Yeah.
net worth, the other way around. But that's good. But that's good. He helped me out, man. Fuck it.
It works either.
Either way, man. Come on.
But yo, that's what I'm talking about.
Shit tight, come on.
No, but
We're
for real,
on a
man.
show right now.
Yeah, but yo, but it's for real.
Let's have a
Honestly, yeah, the alarm hasn't gone off in a long time.
shot. That's what
Okay,
I'm
we're taking a
talking
shot.
about. Magically, it appeared.
But
Let's do a shot. Let's do a shot.
so back
you
to
were
this.
saying,
So
sorry.
what I'm saying is that, like for example, I think I said this in one of the earlier episodes. One of the first girls I dated here, her aunt was like, she did the taxes for Antioquia, and for 6 months I never joined the line
for the state.
for the state of Antioquia
Okay.
here, which in Medellin is the capital, and I never joined a lineup anywhere. It was like the royal carpet just rolled out, doors opened up before they opened. Everything was
Really?
great.
Wow.
And I know 1 or 2 people. Fortunately, unfortunately, we don't do business here really. But I think like shows like this and podcasts and Facebook groups and stuff are really great, like Gringo Pies and all those. Is that people have to put their dream out there, man. You guys gotta say, you guys like literally Gringo Pies is anything, you're gonna get the haters coming and talking a bunch of bullshit.
fuck the
But if
trolls.
you said, hey,
Yes.
our thing is we're at this point, we need to get investors. If you're interested, here's our thing. Contact us. 3%, 2% of the business, whatever it is, you can give up something.
Right.
I'd ask for more. I think like that's the shit that will really push foreigners in business here, man. Because like lack of capital could really cripple your business for many.
Yeah, when you got someone with the feet on the ground here, actually doing something, and you could show books, you could show your cost, you could show your profit, you could show your marketing, all that stuff. I think it makes a big difference to an investor
Yeah.
or someone that has a pipe dream, literally, like someone that has money, let's say a retiree or someone that's coming into retirement and like, man, I could live in Medellin because they visited here, but I want some sort of cash flow apart from my pension or whatever,
And
my
the visa.
401k.
And the visa.
And the visa, maybe I can invest in something that's already started here.
Yeah.
It would be awesome to know that. So I guess that brings me to my next question. But before that, let's
take a
take a
shot.
shot of this
Deep Matrix.
famous grouse.
Fuck y'all, you grouse. Captain Morgan, private stock.
So before we Yeah, I love the business tip, yo. I could be talking about this all night. How do you guys do your marketing? What do you do for marketing? Is there anything special that you do, or is it just kind of like, flying off the cuff of your
Well,
seat of your pants? Sorry, cuff of your.
at the
cuff,
moment,
I didn't even know what.
up to this point, we haven't done too much marketing other than the social media on Instagram and Facebook, because we're getting orders and people are contacting us from all over the place.
We can barely keep up with our own demand just by word of
Oh
mouth.
shit!
Yeah, so
Just word of mouth.
just by word of mouth.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
so
I
it's
can tell you
definitely
that
a funding problem.
I will literally be drinking this again.
But wait,
I love
right.
this fucking
So wait a
beer.
second. Wait a second.
It's
For
so
the
good.
business heads
Oh,
in
man.
here, my brother, it's marketing. He's into this shit too. You guys obviously have a funding problem because if you have but seriously, if you have more orders than you can take, you should be like just moving. There's only one thing that stops that.
Yeah.
Is the inability to supply fast enough, and that has to do with the speed in which your machinery works, or you work, your hires,
Equipment,
and the only way to do that is to propel that is to get funding. So would you say that? Would you think that that's just a problem for you guys, or have you guys met other entrepreneurs here where you think like, man, this idea sounds amazing? But
No,
they're
absolutely, and I
underfunded?
think it's most of the other breweries too, because so many of them have such good beer. But I go to places and they're on the menu sometimes, and I order it, and then they don't have it because they haven't filled their order yet.
see. Yeah.
And people struggle with that a lot. And some of these guys are my good friends, so we talk about it a lot. But yeah, it's definitely a problem, not just with breweries, but with all the small businesses, I think.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Yeah. I guess last question. Who comes up with these designs? Like, do you guys do it
This guy,
yourself?
this is all this guy
for the
right here,
moment-
man.
For the moment, yeah.
That's all Ben.
Yeah, because I really like the
Monkey?
the font
The
on
font.
Son del Barril
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
on your guys' thing. I think it's really good for branding.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
They made an amazing tramp stamp.
and on top of that,
Please,
on top of that,
Joel,
I mean,
you have to
I don't
get it
know
now.
shit about
Sunday
fucking
Barril,
design.
that's my
Yeah.
butt.
These guys we've got graphic. He's our
Free beer
graphic
for life if you
designer.
do it.
Jason's our graphic designer, but I think this thing is too much.
What?
On the logo on the corner.
the little thingy.
What's the little thing?
This.
Monkeys and barrels, that's our brand.
Monkeys
Yeah, but
and
nobody
barrels.
knows
Monkeys
that.
and
Nobody
barrels.
can see that. But this is fucking bad right here.
If you
Something
want
about-
branding advice, come to the Medellin podcast and we'll fuck your shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thank
So, apart from your own beer, what's your favorite craft beer?
Or two.
Maybe one or two craft beers that you really love. Well, I'll start with Ben.
I like Hakuna.
Who?
Say what?
Hakuna? Have you heard of
Hakuna, yeah, like
it makes
Hakuna
some-
Matata.
Yeah.
Of course I know Hakuna.
Makes some great
Shout out
beer.
to Hakuna.
Shout out to
I still don't have my free beer.
And
Great.
I don't mind Abura Valley either. Nathan at Abura Valley.
Yeah, you don't
makes some
mind.
great
Oh,
beer.
Abu Dhabi.
And Sierra Blanca also.
Wait,
Carlos.
Ben.
Wait, hold on.
Man, we told you at the
We're
beginning of the
Australian.
show.
We
we
don't-
we
we're
told,
not
we told you
very
at the beginning of the
animated
show.
about anything, you know?
We're not talking like I don't mind. And what the fuck are your number one?
All right, number
and
one,
number two
Hakuna.
beers?
I would say Hakuna.
Okay,
yeah,
number
number
two.
two.
Sierra Blanca.
Sierra Blanca. Sorry, Nathan Riddle.
Got
I would say
it.
Nathan on the third.
No, we'll have Nathan on.
I like it.
I actually need
Yeah.
him. He hit me up today, actually.
Oh, yeah, cool.
It's great, man.
Yeah, Nathan.
If
Great
but if Tao comes and drops Bud Light on my ass right now, I'm retired from this shit.
No.
What's your number two? What's your number one?
You guys
and
don't
two.
like Aguila Light?
Aguila Light
Wait,
You
Michelada.
like the Eagle Light? All right.
No. Sierra Blanca is hands
Sierra
down
Blanca.
my favorite in the
Why?
city, man.
What does it taste like?
His IPAs, man, they're just hands down the best. He's got some of the nicest equipment I've seen, and we actually have the same qualifications, so he's got some of the best knowledge I know in the city.
Owner of Sierra Blanca. I'm just letting
Carlos.
you know that Tao thinks that you have some of the best equipment.
It's true. And knowledge. It's not just the equipment. It's the whole package, man.
Okay, cool.
Great beer, anyway. And Hakuna too takes the
So
takes the
1 and
second
2,
for sure.
Hakuna.
Yeah,
Uh,
and Jose at Metropole, he gets a shout out for good recipes.
Yeah.
For what?
Good recipes.
Good recipes. Yeah.
Jose from Metropole Beer gets a shout out for good recipes.
Yeah.
Have you guys tried Colon?
Cologne,
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What about Maranta?
Maranta, I like those
I
guys a
love
lot.
Maranta.
They're doing some very unique stuff. Yeah.
I love. That's like my
Higher
favorite
end.
beer right now. Actually.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it's
I
really
love the Mandarina IPA.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
It's excellent, yeah.
they're out in where Santa Marta, right?
Santa Marta,
Yeah,
yeah.
Wait,
Palomino.
Cologne?
No,
Maranta
Maranta.
is not
Maranta.
Bogota?
No, Maranta is Palomino.
I think so.
It's
Yeah,
Palomino.
but-
Colon is
Monteria.
Bogota.
Monteria.
Yeah,
Isn't
one of
it?
those
No, it's
Isn't it
not, no,
Monteria?
I'm telling you, Maranta. It's like my favorite beer right now. I did
They're
a little
great.
research. They're great.
I love all their
Palomino.
social media too. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
So-
they're great.
You guys dated?
Each other? No.
I like to clarify that in case anybody thinks that there's some like couple that
Let's do
started
that
a beer. Wait, we're gonna do a shot. Wait, so we're gonna come back to some shit. We got some more.
Let's do a shot.
When my beard was bigger, I could do this and I felt like more manly. When I
Yeah,
go like
Joel,
this,
what the
it's
hell,
like,
man?
It's like this, yeah. Little,
I feel like I don't even know you
squeaky ass.
anymore.
All right, so
I
I
don't
guess
know.
we talked about business, and business is great, and I hope that you guys grow as a business.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will because you guys have your vision straight, and it looks like you guys have things together. What about your personal life? Let's talk about
Yeah,
being Tao in Colombia and being
Man, you got
Ben
nobody.
in
Hold
Colombia.
on, Andrew. Come on. We've had enough white dudes with colored eyes and blonde hair on this show
It's true.
to know exactly how they do. So I want to go over to the man with the white man's name and the Australian dude, because everybody's gonna fuck this shit up. They're like, man, I love Tao.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so
are we
cute.
talking about the same? Are we talking about
No,
the
no,
same
no.
time? Okay, no.
Oh, so
wait,
cute.
Ben.
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 Talk about your dating experience here so far.
Um,
Don't talk about the current
Killing
girl, cause
Killing it.
The which girl?
the current girl
Oh,
that
yeah.
you're sort of dating.
Okay, yeah.
Let's talk about 5 years. What's been your dating experience? What would you tell other people?
Well, I've dated a few Colombian girls here, and
To you.
yeah, I don't know, like that they do like there's a market that like sees the Asians and they love the Korean dramas and stuff like that. So there's people that are like, what? Like let's go eat noodles and all this stuff. They're like,
Let's go eat noodles.
And then I'll eat
What?
your noodle.
Wait.
I love Korean dramas. I'm
Wait
like,
a
"Alright."
second! We cannot pass from the fact that you just said that there's like a sub-segment of Paisa women
Oh yeah.
that
Yeah.
just say, let's go
That
eat
love-
some
that like-
noodles.
What I
Like-
love
like
is when we're
Korean
in public
dramas,
and
like
girls
to go,
walk
like,
up to him and just
kind
start
of like-
speaking, like
Wait,
trying
what?
to speak Japanese.
Hold on.
Wait,
What's
wait.
that? Hold on. Let's say Tao. Say that again.
Well, I love when we're in public, right? We'll be at like Exito or something. We'll be, checking out, and some girl will come up to him and just be like, "I love anime."
Like Colombian girls?
Colombian girls, man, and she'll be like, "I love anime,"
Well,
and she'll be like,
no,
"She's
I
like,
can-
I like sushi too." Like,
And what do you say?
Noodles.
It's Malaysian.
What do you say to that? I love anime.
Well,
Ben's
I would
like,
say
"Me
that's
too."
nice.
It's oh,
I don't like
my
it.
favorite Pokemon is
Firstly,
Mewtwo.
Wait, just looking at Ben right now.
Hey, cheers.
With the
Cheers,
with the way he reacted to that, I don't think Ben knows about shit about anime.
I don't know anything
You don't
about
know shit about anime.
I'm like the worst
That's
Asian.
embarrassing.
I don't play video games.
We got the
Yeah, man,
on the
man.
Medellin podcast. We got the worst Asian
That's
in
what I'm
Medellin.
doing. That's why I'm in Colombia.
Fuck, man. Wait, seriously? You be out
For
and be
real.
like, I love anime?
Yeah, or
Because
sushi, or like they'll say something in
Brandon
Chinese.
was saying that they're like, he was in his restaurant, they want to take a photo.
Yeah,
of him.
yeah. I've had whole school
Selfies.
groups come and take a
School groups are
line,
the best.
take pictures with me one by one.
On the
And, like,
Transvia,
people
people are
go,
like trying to take
And
selfies,
there's
like with him in the
chino
background.
que he
like-
visto en toda mi vida.
Ah, me too.
I'm like, all right, cool. Let's
Yeah.
take a photo.
Be like, I'll teach you how to make some noodles.
Hey, you want to see my noodle?
All right.
that's
Well,
fucking-
that's amazing. So, I guess, are you dating anyone right now, or?
Yeah, I've been dating a girl recently for like the last, say, 2 months.
That's good. That's a good period of
Yeah.
time.
2 months. That's a long-term relationship in Medellin.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have my ups and downs. I've met a lot of girls here that, they're very attractive and everything, but
Yeah.
I've found that like relationship-wise, it's kind of a little different.
Is there a
Than to
language
Australia.
thing that you find? Does your girl speak English?
No,
Australian-
we speak
Australian
we
Queens?
speak Spanish. She's Venezuelan actually, so we like
Australian.
speak
Oh,
Spanish.
Venezuelan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Australian Queens language.
Queen's English.
The
Yeah,
Queen's
Australian.
English.
Queen's English, yeah.
All right, so you're seeing this girl. I guess a question that maybe many people would have, like, how did you meet this girl?
Actually, at a beer event. The beer's going pretty well in a variety of
Actually,
different
Carlos from
ways.
Sierra Blanca hooked us up with a bartender
Oh
to help us out on
my
an
But
event.
what's his name?
Carlos.
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 From Sierra
Hook the
Blanca.
people up from the Medellin podcast talking about hook
I mean,
all of us up.
we've had a few beer events where I'm like surprised at the people coming through. There's like groups of girls, like 20 something girls coming through, and like a lot of young people as well. And I was kind of surprised by that because I always thought like it was more like a male
How
beer
old are
drinking
you?
market. I'm 35.
Okay.
All right, You don't look 35, that's for sure.
That's because I'm Asian.
You look
so
12.
Asian genes.
Asian and black don't crack. We said that.
85 years old.
Wow, yo, Tao, by the way, is 19. This motherfucker right here is 19. How old are you, Tao?
25.
Oh, what the?
He's a
Damn.
young.
God damn.
Yo, I'm gonna ask people to comment on this. If
Like
black
a
don't
weathered
crack,
19. Weathered 25.
this guy went through like 19 rounds with Mike Tyson and shit.
Why is that
I
way
mean,
around?
yo, how the fuck does this happen? Yo, hey, I always say this, like, and even, I don't want to make this like a show about race, even though it always comes up because I'm of a different color. You guys begin to like crack up and shit around 25, don't you?
Well, damn, man.
So we're gonna wrap this shit up like a condom on a Friday night in Medellin. I practiced that shit. And just to clarify, at the beginning of the show, a lot of people didn't know what the clap was. The clap is really gonorrhea, which is gonorrhea. And here they say gonorrhea, which is like just a cool expression here in Colombia. So it's one of the things you should learn before you come here. Can you use gonorrhea in a sentence, Andrew?
Dejes una gorrea, parce.
What the fuck did that just mean, man? You
Stop being
just
a
lost a
fucking-
Panamanian.
Stop being a gonorrhea.
Yeah, stop being a gonorrhea. So,
But it's cool. It's nice, right? You can call like your friend like a gonorrhea.
Yeah, you can say, hey, gonorrhea.
That's how I have you saved my phone, bro.
Yeah. It's my ringtone. Gonorrhea, gonorrhea.
Actually, I got you saved my phone as Jolaria.
Jolorea.
Yo,
Jolorea.
wait, anyway. Yo, you guys.
Jolorea.
Let's take a
Jolorea.
shot. I got a shot. This is the lightning round. 10 minutes to lock this thing up.
That's like your last shot.
Are you guys? This is mine. Are you guys well, not you, Ben.
Yes.
Use any dating apps?
No.
Have you ever used a dating
I
app?
have used a dating app before.
Which
yes.
dating app?
Tinder.
How did that go for you?
Well, I mean, I only used it like 5 times or something like that.
Out of
but-
5, what did you strike?
No, it was not great.
Why not? Like nobody liked you, or
No,
what?
I just I don't know. I didn't really connect with anybody that I was
Connect,
on it. It
meaning
was
like you
not
didn't
really.
match, or what
Yes.
is that?
Bang, very many women.
Bang
Salute,
or match?
salute.
Cheers, thank you.
What do you mean?
The people I met on that thing were not.
We're not.
I mean,
too
I was not
top
on it
class.
for very long. Yeah, so.
Then you got off.
Yeah.
But Santa Elena, there's
I
like
prefer
5
to
people
meet
on
people
Tinder.
from like.
No, he didn't get off. That was the problem.
No, I used it. I don't know, like maybe a month.
In Santa Elena.
No, in Santa Elena.
Because it's
How
like
many
7
actually,
population of 8.
yeah, exactly. No, I think I used it here like 3 years ago for about a month. That's about it.
All right, but you've managed to snag, as we'd call it when you're fishing, you snagged a few Pisces girls.
Yeah.
He snagged a Canadian, so no one cares about his fucking story. So
A cold fish.
A cold fish, a salmon. What's her name? Ashley?
Come on, man.
An icy
Fuck, I don't
salmon.
know.
Her name is Trisha.
Tasha.
Tasha.
Oh, Tasha.
Tasha,
My
you're
bad.
beautiful.
Tasha,
But
we
you're
love
cold.
Hi,
you.
Tasha.
Wait, Tasha, we love you. He's doing hearts. You snagged a few Pisces.
Yeah.
What would your advice to the other folks coming here be like?
Who's
what-
listening?
like
all
all
the
the
people on the
other-
bicycles?
Wait.
Dudes in Medellin.
Hold up. When
Wait.
he says other folks, he means Asian people coming to fucking
Oh,
Colombia.
like
I mean
any-
black guys too.
I mean,
right?
if you're coming here and you're extranjero and you want Pisces women,
If you're
I would
what?
break extranjero.
Okay.
yeah, which
Like
means
anybody that's
Foreigner.
foreigner.
okay,
Okay.
cool.
I mean, you can
Preach.
go to like the intercambios, the language exchanges,
Yeah.
any events where there's usually lots of gringos combined with Colombians. Because
Is that where you snagged your warm fish?
the first couple?
Have you
This
ever
one,
been
this
to,
one, and then start a brewery, and then you'll
Oh,
realize
shit.
what brewery groupies are.
Oh,
Have you ever been-
brewery
You guys know Aerosmith?
What the fuck is a brewery groupie?
Well, you guys know Aerosmith?
Girls love beer, bro. Like
And
it's
Aerosmith
like
has all these groupies.
Yeah.
Ben thinks we're the Aerosmith of Brewery.
Oh, damn.
it's like they do like beer. It's I don't know.
Wait, they do like what?
beer birds?
Beer, like at beer
Oh my
festivals.
god, I thought you said beards. Cause I looked over you and I'm like,
I ain't got no
"Motherfucker,
beard."
You better.
No.
If you can't
This is
grow it,
bold.
sow it.
You guys are
This
trying
is
for
like 8 years growth right
It's
here.
like, you and Andrew. Andrew's like 16 growth.
Whoa!
That shit's
I'm
died
like a
in.
16-year-old
November
Mexican
for like
boy.
15 years of November. This is what we got.
You guys need some Rogaine.
Yeah, you know it's
Man, I
Movember.
tried
Yo,
all my-
I've been trying to grow my Movember mustache since like 1975.
1979. He's got a Movember of 1979.
So have you ever been to any of the swinger clubs out here?
No.
You
Don't
haven't?
be looking around.
Yo,
You know what we talking
wait!
about.
Don't
I
tell me
didn't-
you've never been to La Piscina with one of these Paisa girls, because they always offer it. No, you never.
No, I can't say that I have,
pool?
unfortunately.
I think you guys run with a slightly different crowd.
What
Yeah.
you guys wrong? Just because you and Ashley don't swing.
Just
and shit.
because I'm.
Ashley, bro?
Yo, get Ashley on the show. Oh.
Yo,
Tasha,
we don't.
Tasha, you coming on the show. Come on, Tasha.
Hey, there's a few of us in here that play basketball. Here's what we're gonna do.
There's
We're
like
gonna-
one of us.
I've been playing in my days. Anyways, we're gonna box out Tasha Ashley. We're gonna box her out like this. We're gonna isolate. We're gonna ask her questions, and she's gonna tell the truth. Do you act like a Latino in bed?
Or like a Chinese.
She'll tell you, man. She'll tell you the only reason that she even paid attention to me is because I could dance.
You can what? Hey, motherfuckers! Hey, anybody watching? You can what?
Yo.
I could dance.
Say it again. Say. She's yelling into the mic.
I think you can dance.
Because I could dance.
Yeah.
What do
that's
you call?
Kyle's friend in the
Wait,
shop.
wait. Before we go to the shot.
So you think you can dance?
Yeah. So you think it was Simon Cowell and shit. So you think so? So Tal, you think you can dance?
Let me see some
Let's
of
see
your
what
moves.
you
Let's
got.
hit it.
Move this. I'm willing to clear this whole shit out.
All right. Well, I really want to thank you guys for being out here. I mean, I think it was the first brewery that was on Medellin podcast. By the way, we are the only podcast in Medellin in English.
And the only fucking podcast that interviews interracial couples.
Yeah, like TAO and Ben.
Or Andrew and Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Where-
That's how we started.
We're the United Colors of Benetton,
Now we
ladies
here.
and gentlemen.
Imagine if we all had a baby. It'd be like a fucking mutant.
Yo, let's all look at each other in the eyes, really.
God damn it. I don't want to look in you guys'
Look
eyes.
at my eyes. Man.
But I guess
Imagine you throw Felipe in there. You got a little bit of Colombian in there with his fucked up hair.
It's like a university age.
like coming out here with the back hair and shit.
Looking like a macaroni without the cheese.
Like a macaroni with back hair. So for those unfortunate souls that have stood the test of time and
Yeah.
listened to this whole fucking podcast,
580 people apparently. Yeah.
I guess my question would be, if I were coming to Colombia, I would want to know what would be your advice. You know, you started your business here. You guys are going through it. You guys are in the trenches right now, actually. I know because we've been five years deep in our business.
Yeah.
I've been 9 years in Medellin.
Yeah.
Joel's been
8.
8 years in
Yeah.
Medellin. Our business has
And we're
5
still
years.
gutter rats.
Yeah, and we're
Yeah.
still. I mean,
Yeah.
we're nothing compared to some of these
Yeah.
guys out here, like
Yeah.
Smart Fit, Casa Col.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys are making buku bucks bucks
We're
out
still
here.
eating frijoles on a fucking weekday.
Not me, because I'm vegan, and I don't eat those fucking shits.
And he's pescatarian, which is his religion.
But anyway, I guess my question would be, what would be your advice to somebody that wants to come out to Colombia and start a business? What would be your advice? I'll start with Ben.
I would say do your research. Make sure you know people, if not locals, people that are, you know, friends that have been here for a little while, just so you get a little bit of context in how the business world works. Because something that, like, you know, if you're used to doing business in Australia, in my case, or Canada or the States, it's a little bit different here. Yeah. So, I mean, you're going to go 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And
Ben, did you realize that this was a fucking plug for the Medellin podcast?
Yes,
We
I did.
said, what would you do? You're supposed to go watch the Medellin podcast,
watch
bitches.
episode 15 of the /16 of the Medellin podcast.
That's
Featuring Son de Barril, the best brewery
the
in
best
Medellin.
barril.
Oh, well, that's actually
Barril.
well, something that you mentioned was doing research. Did
Yeah.
you guys actually do research before you came here? Or you guys just came out here and did your thing?
Yeah, we kind of just like dived into the pond, and while we were in there, we're looking
So you
around and
guys
going,
are
okay,
like-
yeah, this is pretty cool.
So you guys are like I would say, the leaders in people coming out here and doing their thing, because I don't know many people out here that have done what you guys have done, which is basically come from fucking Denver, Colorado, wherever the fuck you're from.
Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah, and came out here and dove into it.
Yeah.
And tried to figure it out.
Can I-
So you guys are figuring it out for everybody else. So your advice would be to do the research.
Do your research. Make sure that you have local people around you to tell you, okay, this is. It may seem okay to you, but if you have like a local lawyer that says, okay, like think about this. This is how the way things work here. I really think that that's an important thing, and to know that it takes time. You're not going to be successful overnight.
Because you were here 5 years before you actually met that lawyer that you knew was going to be trustworthy.
Yeah, I've done all types of shit, and I have times where I wanted to leave and everything like that, but I feel like Medellin, there's a lot of opportunity here. You have to like just stick in there. It's not going to be easy, but there's a lot of opportunity in this country. It's growing. There's a lot more investment from foreigners. There's like the craft beer movement, for example. It's only 0.08% of the total
economy.
beer consumption in the country, but it's growing. There's so many events. There's an event every 2 or 3 weeks. There's a community here. It's growing. There's like more foreigners coming. So it's an opportunity. It's a market to do business in.
Okay.
And that's one of the main reasons that I'm here.
Everybody has to hustle.
Yeah.
And you guys are in here doing your thing.
Yeah.
And I guess the same question for you, Tao. Somebody that's coming out to Medellin, what would be your advice if they want to come out and do business, whether it's doing what you guys are doing?
Or living in general.
Well, no, I think living is a different thing because if you want to come out here and live, you might have a budget and all that.
Tasha might have money.
Tasha.
Hi, Tasha.
Tasha, we love you.
Sorry, Ty. I love
All right, so my question is, for somebody that wants to come out here and try to do business, what would be your advice?
Again, it goes along the same lines with research. Know what you're getting yourself into. Know the business culture. If you do want to stay, know the visa procedures. Know what kind of visa you need to get. Know everything it requires. Another big thing that I think a lot of people might forget about is that foreign currencies are extremely strong here. I think the more cash you can bring into the country in dollars or in euros or pounds or whatever it is, you're gonna be glad you brought that cash because you'll win on the exchange rate every time. It's really strong right now. So I think I would recommend bringing as much cash as you can into this country.
Cash is king.
Cash is king.
All right. Well, I really want to thank you guys for being on this podcast. I know that we're not a very big podcast, but before we shout out where we are located on the internet, where can we find Son de Barril?
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram or on Facebook. It's just under our name, Son del Barril, at Instagram or at Facebook. And we have a website as well, sondelbarril.com.
And if I want to go buy your beers, where can I get them? Do I have to hit you up personally, or can I go to a store?
Yeah, we'll do personal orders. Minimum is a 24 bottle box, and then we also sell almost anywhere in Santa Elena, in several places in the city. Everything's on our website.
Awesome. Thank you. And you can find the Medellin podcast on
Pornhub.com/Medellin podcast, xhamster.com/Medellin podcast, porn2.
/.
All right.
If you actually did that, you'd find some really fucked up shit.
Right.
But you can find us on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Castbox, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. All of those, just putting our name, Medellin Podcast Medellin. If you can't find us on the first try with Podcast Medellin, hit us up on Medellin Podcast and you'll find us. We've got that fucked up looking smile, just smile at you.
It's gonna be changed though. You got that.
You
got that
fucking
Invisalign.
what's that called? Invisalign coming and shit, bro. Watch for the Invisalign podcast.
Yeah.
Bitches.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was a
Yeah.
dance.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, thank you guys.
This is fucking
That was amazing.